What do you think about the last race?
It was the last race, and they got a champion.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the more entertaining races that we've had lately. Not only because they was running for the championship, but those guys was racing each other back in the pack also. So to me, it was a pretty interesting race from the word go. And I guess this is the first time that we've had a championship that didn't win the last race, and so that made it a little bit different too.
Yeah, that was different too. But you talking about racing back in the pack, but they was racing for the lead too a lot, Richard.
They was.
Yeah.
That was the interesting part of it. Like I say, throughout the race, there was a couple of dull moments there, but they followed it enough that they was keeping up with the one car, that's keeping up with the 12 car, the 20 car. Of course, 20 car had trouble right early, and so the competition between them was fierce, but there was people racing with them for their position.
Yeah, I know it, but if you'd have kept your eye on the one car, he just eased himself on up there, and once he got to the front, he just stayed there, and he had to pass some cars after pit stop and everything too. But they kept, even in qualifying, they kept bragging about the first pit, and of course the 24 got that. And that helped him a lot, Richard, on the stages and after the
anytime
caution.
they made a pit stop.
Yeah, and but he wound up fourth, but I don't know they advertised a sellout, and they was a crowd there. I'll tell you that.
There was people everywhere.
Lord have mercy, but
the race part, like the 43 qualified seventh. That's the best he's been all year. And, he ran in the top 8 or 10 basically until the latter part of the race. And then, I don't know, something happened. They went away. I know they made the last pit stop, they was back to 12th or 14th, and they gambled on just taking 2 tires. And that didn't work. But that was his only chance he had because he was getting outrun anyway.
Well, he had to do something different. Right. What he was doing wasn't working, but used to when we'd have a weekend off, we'd want to run good, so the weekend off didn't look so bad. But this, I wish they could have run a little bit better with the 42 and the 43, but they didn't, and I guess there's a lot of teams looking forward to next year, and I'm sure our crowd is too.
There's going to be a lot of changes from the standpoint, our crowd is going from Chevrolet to Toyota, and they got a bunch of guys that's moving from car to car, a couple of new ones coming in for Rookie of the Year deal. So next year's going to be a completely different kind of year than what we've had this year, because this is going to be the third year on our new body styles or whatever.
Well, the Toyota's getting a new body, so everything's going to be.
Everything's really new.
But the computer will tell you that. But I think the big thing that Legacy is looking forward to, they're going to have the in-house pit crew.
That's been one of our weakest points all year long.
All year long.
Because they've run decent, top 8 or 10, but then when they make pit stops, they're back to 18th or 20th, and you're racing with the same people all day long. And you should be racing with a different crowd, but hopefully that'll help our team a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And Harvick had a good day.
Yeah,
he got up there and
I was, the first rounds and stuff, he was running second, third, fourth. He ran really good, but over a period of time, them guys finally overcome him. I think he wound up 8th or something, but which is a pretty good deal for his very last race.
But he wound up 7th. But he
got close.
That's his style track, of course, and of course there was some surprises. The 54 car never did run good, and the 11 car had a good finish, but he didn't run good, Richard. And
no, he just kept plugging away and got there. Yes,
and Tyler Reddick, I hate to call out names, but he didn't run good. No. So. I don't know. And, of course, Chase Elliott didn't run that good. And
the race changed as you went along. You had a bunch of the guys that run good at the beginning of the race, that didn't run good at the end of the
Yeah,
race,
that's
and
true.
vice versa. So that made it really interesting trying to keep up with.
I thought it was a pretty good place to have the last race. I'm not too crazy about the way the playoff ends, but
No, I like that kind of racetrack because there's 2 or 3 different groups.
oh
And you
yeah, it
notice
had
these guys,
several groups.
they'd run low in one corner and high in another corner, or vice versa. So the deal was when you caught people, you didn't just have to stay behind them. You had a chance. The track was big enough that you can go either lower or higher than the other guy and beat them. So that becomes then having the car to handle to be able for the driver to go where he wants to go.
But when the restart on the restarts, when they get 7 and 8 abreast, and then they had room to sort out where they didn't wreck. Now some of them road courses, when they get that, it's just they just gonna wreck. So it's all in all, it was a pretty good, decent place.
The time they get the green flag and they just spread out. The time they get to the first corner, the track's still big enough for them to run at least 3 abreast. So that makes it work.
Blaney, he deserved it. But he worked hard too.
He drove hard all day.
He went one session there where his car wasn't working real good, and I don't know what kind of magic they pulled on
somewhere
it.
in the middle of the race there.
Yeah, it was, but
he was still no match for that. The one car got ahead of him while he was busy racing.
yeah,
But I still think the last few laps and stuff, the one car was making better time around the racetrack, so he wasn't catching him any.
But see and bringing up the 20 car, he was one of the 4 finalists. I can't imagine something must have malfunctioned somewhere in the braking system for him to
Well,
mess up a rotor.
We've been out there before, and there's always 1 or 2 that has brake problems, and you wouldn't think a track that big would really be that hard on the brakes, but undoubtedly they get heated up, and there's not enough straightaway for them to cool down.
Yeah, I don't know. And, of course, they're using the transmission, too, where years ago, when you run out there, we didn't have all that, but it's just a different world now, and I'm sure some teams are glad it's over with, and
well, I know our team is looking forward to next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
saying.
We got a new driver coming in. Still got Erik driving the 43 car, and then we got a new operation with Toyota. So all that's going to be different. So I think all our crowd is really looking forward to what's going to happen next year, and hoping we can do a whole lot better than we did this year.
Certainly looking forward to it, and of course they go to the Coliseum first, and them points don't count. But then we go to the big one in Daytona, and
Daytona's where really the racing starts. You go run at the Coliseum, it's just kind of a show. To me, it's not a race. Okay, but when we get to Daytona, I think everybody's going to get a little more serious.
Yeah, Daytona's always been serious. But getting back to the off time, there's been championships where you sewed it up one Sunday and started a new season the next Sunday.
Yeah.
And, of course, that was in the 60s and all that. But it's been such a different world over the years, but we still got a champion this year. And congratulations to Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, they come to the top at the end of the deal. Because back 7, 8 races ago, he was just sort of one of the crowd. And then all of a sudden, they peaked at the right time, and everything just fell in their place.
He peaked at the right time
to do good. Yeah,
to do good. Ain't no question about that.
All right. Well,
so we'll talk again.
We'll get it all together this winter and starting next year, and hope to have a better year.
Hope so.